can hurt RagnaroK. We did see Classic win on King's Cove, so let's see what Zest has got.
Okay, our game has loaded up. RagnaroK versus Zest. Again, the winner goes on to the round of 8 of the GSL. We're almost there.
Chivo, RagnaroK.
A lot of RagnaroK fans in the audience today, excuse me.
We're going to end on 3999 tonight, aren't we?
Are we?
Yeah. Loser in final match.
Ocean Gaming, Zest.
Tuesday. Where will you be when
I'll
the
be
number
sitting
hits
literally
4,000?
exactly right here,
Yeah,
next
holding
to
my
you.
hand.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Single tear coming down my face. Big numbers amaze me, Artosis.
Yeah. When they line up like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we
4
have
and
10
then 3
fingers
zeros.
on our hands, and that's why we count in base 10. So, I mean, that's why this is an important number. Makes sense.
Oh, good Zergling.
Lingling can't stop.
So, yeah, let's see what Zest wants to do here. It's going to be some... Oh, it's his birthday?
Is it? Oh, no, it was on the 3rd. That
Look
is
at that.
actually my new
One of
baby's
those-
birthday, the 3rd. He stole my baby's birthday.
Yeah, well, you can't have two people born on the same day.
No. Not in this close a relation.
Yeah.
There's only 1 degree of Artosis separating them.
Yeah. It's good to see those stuffed animals were enjoying StarCraft.
Yeah. Stuffed animals definitely like StarCraft.
Definitely.
They're the quietest when I put it on in the house.
That's why when I'm, not casting a tournament, I make sure to get all my stuffed animals out, and we have tea parties while we watch the games.
Yeah. Gives you something to cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell them your predictions that are generally wrong, and they won't call you on it. You want to try co-casting with them sometime. Well, I'm sorry, you did co-cast with Jake, actually. He's basically just a giant teddy bear.
Yeah, he is. Now, we're still waiting. We don't know what exactly the Protoss is going to do. We know there's probably going to be some type of timing attack. The difficulty for the Zerg is you don't know which one, and each type of timing attack requires a different way to handle it.
Yeah, he's getting Overlord speed, and there's a Twilight on the way, so that's going to be good for him. We'll see if this is a DT-based Archon drop, or if it's just straight up some Twilight upgrade. Can't talk quite yet, but we shall see as it finishes. It'd be interesting if he goes into the Dark Archon drop, just because, again, we haven't really seen Archon drop since the patch. Here we go.
Okay, Dark Shrine, it is scouted.
Yeah. I think that this is actually a pretty good build for the map, just generally speaking. It puts some pressure on your opponent, even if they see it coming. It is still an Archon drop. It'll do a little bit. You have to be a little bit more careful now, obviously, with the pickup range reduced. But I feel like the best way, in my opinion at least, the way that I like to see DT-based Archon drops play out is taking a third base, lots of Immortal production, and not getting into Psystorm. Just like a very strong charge Archon Immortal army, with some sentries obviously thrown in there. But I feel like that's a very strong way to play this type of strategy.
I actually feel like this style of play I associate most with Zest than any other player in StarCraft 2.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, I know it was several years ago, but I mean, he was the guy that really proved how robust this approach is.
I believe you're correct. Back on the map Overwatch, I think, is where we started to really see this build. And it got to the point where Zergs were like just straight countering with mass speed roach and trying to bust down third bases. But yeah, that was during the period where Zest was the best in the world. The thing is, he actually pioneers a lot of the Protoss builds, so people like make fun of me for saying how good he is and how I always think he's going to advance. The thing is, if you look at actually what he's done for Protoss and how much of what we do revolves around what he's done, it's really impressive.
Are you surprised he went with the DTs immediately here, since this was scouted? Was this one of these moves where it's like, well, obviously he's just going to go straight into Archons because the Dark Shrine was scouted, and so he's trying to like do that mind game of like, you never would think this is coming because it's so counterintuitive.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit of that. And I mean, look, he got a little bit of damage done, right? He got a couple drones. He didn't do a whole hell of a lot, but You may as well. You know, as the queen count grows, you're not going to get a lot done with the Archons anyways. Kind of put the fear of God into him, right? He's not mining from over here. Something funny about stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So he's going to try to bring the Archons over here. Now, the goal is to not lose any queens or drones. Really good control here by Zest.
Yeah.
Oh, until the last second. Okay, he does get a
Fantastic.
pickup, kills the queen.
I like it. I really like that. All right, gotta move over and see what he can get done in the main.
War Prism still with plenty of HP.
Interesting that RagnaroK is not targeting the Prism much.
Yeah.
He hit the Archon several times with the Queen, and that feels completely useless.
Oh my God!
Those stacked drones, if he had targeted that, that could have been so scary.
Would have popped everything.
Okay, so this is, I mean, it's getting all right damage done. Dive on that Queen. Great micro from Zest here. Look at that. 2 queens killed, 5 drones killed.
I get nervous every time I see RagnaroK with these drones bunched up, and the Archons are so close by.
I know, right? Spire incoming, yes!
Yeah, this is cool. And this seems to be like happening as the War Prism harass is being toned down a little bit here, because Zest doesn't have that much more energy on those Archons.
Yeah.
Is he going to get one more DT? Huh, okay.
Yeah, he actually had another DT out. I don't know what happened
did he?
to it.
I didn't see that.
So I believe he likely has 2 DTs on the map right now, unless he lost one during the Archon harassment. Okay, just keeping a little bit of pressure on.
This is very cute. Unfortunately, not quite doing as much as I think he had hoped for. He's going to actually recall that DT back. Oh my God.
Yeah, very worthwhile. Is he going to get another queen?
Yeah, he is.
Are we serious about this?
I don't feel like RagnaroK's defense, execution-wise, is where it should be.
It feels, yeah, I definitely somewhat agree, and I want to give a shout out to Zest's harassment, because now, you know, when he dropped the initial DTs out, he was focusing queens a little bit and putting some damage on them, and then he just aggressively juggled his Archons towards queens the whole time. So if pickup range is an issue because queens will shoot you down, instead of drones, focus on queens a bit more, and it feels like that's what I'm seeing from Zest. Okay, he sees the mutas now. This is Danger City. See this? Serious Danger City. Look at this. The Roach is coming too. This is like chasing a medevac with Ling Muta, man. Look at this.
All right, so he's going to finally be able to take out both those Archons. It's actually pretty important you keep the Archons alive and the War Prism alive.
Yeah. What's his anti-air right now? It's 3 sentries and a Stalker.
RagnaroK with excellent Muta timing here.
Yeah. Yeah, doing very well with that. Obviously, when you go for a DT-based Archon drop, it's like you don't have anything that's anti-Muta. Like, the Archons are really it, so catching that Prism is a gigantic thing, because for instance, most walls that you have as Protoss, you can't walk Archons through, so you have Archons on one side or the other. And to defend against mutas properly, like, if you have Archons in a Prism, you can actually kind of chase mutas with it. You know? You can kind of... It's a reasonable defense.
Okay, this forces out a lot of Stalkers, which allows a Zerg to very comfortably make a lot of Zerglings here. Again, a lot of times as you see these games progress, it's them both trying to force certain techs out so that they can try to counter that later on.
And with the 2 Stargate Phoenix coming up and the kind of late splash damage, I love the Baneling speed. We talked about that previously as well. You know, it just getting into this kind of massive army when your opponent is spending money on Phoenixes is always going to be nice. It's not the Blink Stalkers that we were talking about exactly, but just the massing of these lower tier units feels very nice.
And this is all designed to ramp up to a maxed out Zerg that if and when the Protoss does come out, the Zerg is ready to have a smashing attack.
Ling Roach Bane Ravager, like a maxed out army of that, Phoenixes don't really do much of anything.
Yeah, they don't play much of a role.
Yeah,
so
like,
the idea is just as there's enough Phoenixes, which we're seeing now, to counter nice control here by Zest. Just when there's enough Phoenixes out to basically counter the mutas, that's when the rest of the supply is going to be filled up with this big ground army, and it basically makes the Phoenixes fairly useless.
Yeah, the best you can probably do here is lift up Ravagers, maybe Queens. I think picking up Banelings might be a waste of your time. But yeah, if the Banelings mostly are hitting Archons, you can definitely see Zest taking down this battle. It's just, if this army all connects correctly, the Zerg army, it is pretty scary still.
Okay, here we go. RagnaroK coming around here. Really good force fields, blocking out a lot of these Banelings.
Oh, but more Banelings roll in.
Yeah,
Zealots being absolutely
such
decimated.
a ridiculous number of Zerg units here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, when you have force fields that were that good and he runs over you with this much, jeez.
No, the force fields were really, really good, so that's impressive. I love that he's actually forcing these back. This means a DT-based defense might actually keep Zest alive. There's like no detection over here. See that? What are you gonna do? You got one Baneling there.
Yeah, this is
Look
a
at
lot of DT action in this game.
That is so funny. He's killing off all the Overseers. This is like DT Corsair. Seriously.
Yeah, actually.
Where's the detection? He's got to build spores at this point defensively.
It's
After
so funny.
crushing that
I
army.
thought the game was about to end. I still think we're not far from that.
Yeah, but
yeah.
cool to see, right?
I love it. Oh my god, he has a DT in every single base. Please
Like,
tell me Zest will win this game in the greatest comeback of all time.
It's insane if he wins this, but it's completely based off DTs and Phoenixes.
Well, you know, once you get that detection, I guess he could send the Phoenixes back here. Oh my
Dude,
god, what is happening to RagnaroK?
Every drone in the whole universe.
Why are we getting like the esports fan fiction game? Like, this is not how StarCraft games normally look at the highest level.
No.
And then 2 DTs killed all of his workers. What?
Like, what league is this again? Oh, it's GSL Code S.
Yeah.
They're fighting
It's
for
Zest
around
versus
A spot
RagnaroK.
right now.
Yeah. Look at this.
And there were no overlords left.
He was maxed out and then he lost everything.
Yeah. Okay. So that happened. We're back down to some lower worker supplies at this
You
point.
know what's going on in RagnaroK's head right now? He's so salty.
It's like this race. Is
When you're playing and you're just like, I am so bad. This is so bad. Like, I can't believe this is me. This is my mind and body in this moment right now.
Yeah, everyone goes through that for sure. All right, 3 Broodlords on the way. Not an Infestor in sight, though. Obviously, the Broodlords are helpful here. 3 Archons can't really break through that, right? I think he holds.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, now you have the break. Well, hold on. The Phoenixes are going after these Broodlords. He's got a lot of Zealots and Archons. If he can get the Archons underneath the Broodlords, then yeah, he can actually get this. Look at this.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad, actually. Gets all
He's
the
got a
broods.
Warp Prism. He's going to be able to warp it again. He's going to get the Corruptors. Now the Phoenixes are going to be left over. Look at this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, these Phoenixes did quite a bang-up job right there. 3 more Broodlords, though.
Oh, I actually almost didn't see that. Yeah, they're by the Overlords.
Yeah, now trying to target down specifically the Archons. Gets that last Corruptor.
Well, this game turned out to be much closer than
it
was really supposed to be.
Well, RagnaroK started wrecking. And now imagine if Zest hadn't thrown away that army. The thing is, it felt like, even I thought, like, oh, maybe this can do something, right? It kind of came down to Baneling connections, but there were actually so many Banelings. This is...
RagnaroK, more like Throw-Grok, right?
Throw-Grok!
Am I right, ladies and gentlemen?
I grok that. Throw-Grok.
So, we're seeing this game really quiet down. So
The amount that DTs have done this game is so crazy.
Yeah.
This feels like StarCraft 1.
Yeah. It definitely actually does look a lot more like a StarCraft 1 PvZ.
I think the blink is fantastic since they've just been bludgeoning each other. You can get some real efficiency with those things like Blink Stalkers in a game like this, where it's not just a huge, maxed-out, scary army. Zest sitting here on 36 army supply. My God.
Well, it's we need to see if RagnaroK can close this one out. Oh, no. Okay.
Don't worry, it was a hallucination.
Okay, he's coming now. But there's 2 more Archons making. There's actually 2 Immortals down there as well.
Yeah, I can't imagine him holding on.
I don't see how he does it.
No way. That army. I don't care if each of these is a hero unit. If he were to, he needs Mobo to win this battle.
That's right.
He doesn't have Mobo there
We
at
need
all.
the hero Baneling unit.
How do you become a hero, baby?
It's like a hero unit in the single player, and then when it dies, like if it dies, you lose the game. You're like, what? So I literally have like a
move
unit.
commands so much.
I have this unit that's a ball that I have to like roll around the map and like not.
Yeah.
It's like a Baneling that has spells. It has Psionic Storm. Like
I think you should go make the campaigns for
I know.
StarCraft 3, man.
Yeah, GG. RagnaroK does win game 1, and he's got a sense of humor about it. I mean, 2 DTs killed off like something like 40 drones, but
Yeah.
he pulled it together and ended up winning anyways.
Well, Zest was trying to hit this very strong attack, right? And the force fields were actually really, really good, but the ridiculous concave, right? That was like a 270-degree engagement by RagnaroK, so the force fields weren't quite enough. The amount of Ling Bane that he actually had there was phenomenal, and he was able to just overcome. You know, it's tough. Like, if you open up with that DT-based Archon drop, a lot of times you do go into an attack like that, you don't have Psystorm for it. You have to play a much longer game if you want to get Psystorm, so tough one there for Zest. But made the most of it.
Yep. So RagnaroK with the 1-0 lead. We're going to go to game number 2 now. That's going to be on Thunderbird. And that has loaded up. So RagnaroK versus Zest continues on. Let's see if RagnaroK can 2-0 this or if we'll get it balanced out with a Zest win 1-1.
Fight! Chivo, RagnaroK. Ocean Gaming, Zest.
All right. You know, another good macro map. This is the map that we most oftentimes see these Mutalisk type plays on. I love that RagnaroK continues to put them out there. You know, just even a few months ago, Mutas were almost never used in this matchup, seen as a liability. But we're seeing a lot of cool tempo-based plays, some sustained Muta plays as well. It's awesome, and it feels like one of those things that Zergs will continue to get better at.
Yeah, I think so.
It's really hard because they can get so hard countered, but when you have like a really good plan for it and you execute, it's amazing what they seem to be able to do.
Yeah, RagnaroK really showing an excellent ZVP here.
Yes, very. His defenses are strong. He's got some really great ideas about what he wants to get done in the game.
Yeah.
We don't even necessarily see him pushing it to late game, right? And I think that's actually a very meta way to play right now. Some Zergs want to push it into late game and win through like Infestor Broodlord or something.
It's almost like they want to win in a race. You know, like
yeah.
I'm going to just outlast you.
And the thing is, that's scary for Protoss because that part of the game is very difficult right now. Protosses are not winning in the Supreme late game against Mass Infestor Broodlord type comps. So what do? They do more timing attacks. They try to play it in that way. So the meta way to play as Zerg is to play a very strong mid game where you're not really looking to develop into the Infestors as much because you know that Protoss is going to bring it to you because they don't want to play the late game. So instead of maybe getting caught off guard like a rogue character might, you know, trying to sneak his way into his Infestors and his Broodlords quickly, we see RagnaroK filling out his mid game a little bit stronger, and I think that's a very smart way to play right now in the current metagame.
I think it's really intelligent. So what we've seen RagnaroK already do more than once here in today's GSL is a very swift switch tech into Muta that forces the Protoss player in all the games we've seen into making Phoenixes. Now he actually makes a pretty large amount of Mutas. The Protoss has to back up, and behind that he invests heavily in a big ground army and basically takes the fight. The Protoss is hoping that he can try to push out eventually when he has enough, when the Mutas have to respect the Phoenix count. You come out, and then the push is supposed to work, but instead he has so much he just smashes it.
Well, those are some tight timings and builds, and like how many mutas do you build? What are you doing with them to maximize their value on the other side of the map, so that you have that time, or maybe they helped you to get that type of power differential to be able to beat the counterattack that comes once they're dealt with. Yeah, again, kind of a complicated way to play that people are still figuring out, but really exciting to see it so much out of RagnaroK here. Now, he tried to scout what was going on. Doesn't quite know that it
didn't really see anything.
Yeah. But when you don't see anything, I think spores are a good choice.
Yeah. The worst situation would be to get spores and then discover there is absolutely no threat.
If you get spores and it's just a straight-up immortal push, then you're like, oh, that was the biggest waste of money I could have come up with.
Yeah, you're probably going to die.
But DTs, you know, obviously that's one way the game can end quicker than anything.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
We've had a lot of very near misses as far as spotting tech and stuff like that. So that was just in the blind spot of the Zerg. And so let's see if this DT can come in here and get anything done. Now, there's a lot of lings being made. And it looks like this is actually going to go into the main here. And I think he can actually just pop this out.
Yeah, I think he's walked a DT to the natural.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that DT was actually in there, but no.
I think he'll target the spore, right?
I would imagine so. He wants the other DT to come in there. Oh, and still work.
Surrounds it instantly, so this was very good defense from
Yeah, you
RagnaroK.
could actually not ask for better defense than that.
Yeah, for this situation, this was amazing. But this one goes in the natural now, seeing what he can get done. Obviously, a clean takes a while to kill a DT.
Yeah.
Already 4 kills, not bad.
He comes in once again trying to assassinate the queen, but the defense here from RagnaroK is still too good. That War Prism actually at about 20% health, so he needs to be very careful with that. You're supposed to be switching into Archons eventually here.
Yeah. Look at this, though. Zest is doing a very meta play with the double Stargate.
Yeah, this is cool.
That's very cool. That's super cool. Wow. Oh, I love stuff like this.
Well, this is smart because you're just getting right out ahead of what the other player was doing.
And the thing is, there's multiple ways this can go, right? No one's, well, not no one, but Hydras are not super popular right now. RagnaroK is not into that style very much. Oh, he's even getting +1. Oh, it's beautiful. But if your opponent stays on Roach or goes into Muta, you're in very good shape with this. Yeah, it's just, I think that this is a really clever mind game from Zest.
Oh my God! Ooh. Big play there by RagnaroK to take the War Prism out.
Oh my gosh. I got the same feeling watching that Starcon get out of there as I get when I walk into the ocean and it goes up to my belly.
Yeah?
You know how cold that is when you're like, ooh,
it's cold.
Yeah.
I'll just try to go on little bit by little bit.
Yeah. You should just jump in.
Nidus Worm.
Ooh.
Nidus Worm, son. Now this is, I think...
Nidus Worm, son.
Shout-outs to Nidus Worm play.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to pop out here and do a lot of damage. Okay, now it's getting even weirder
because
it's Swarmhost Nidus. Yeah.
Which actually the Phoenixes should do very well against.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a Nidus Worm and then like Lings and Roaches or something like that were going to spill in and the Phoenixes would be obsolete, but wow, this is one of those games where it's taken a lot of crazy turns and neither player knows what's about to happen here.
Oh, it's a wild one. They're both going to be caught off guard. Oh, exciting. All right, here come the Phoenixes. They see the Nidus. They see the Swarmhost. Now, what do? Do you recall these things?
I think you do.
You send them home?
Okay. It's very important how the first few waves of Swarmhost play come out. Mm-hmm. There's a whole art to chucking the Swarmhost into certain positions. Yeah, we are going to have a second Nidus, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's why that Ling was there, but it looks like he didn't build it quickly enough. Oh my God.
What? Oh, okay. Man.
Enough armies coming, he just turns around. Look at that, 4 DTs. I love that DTs are just basically what Zest's army is this game.
Yeah.
And last game as well. 15 probes end up going down, though. So, yeah, the DTs killed everything, but probes, many died.
RagnaroK's losing a lot of his army over here. Here comes the second Nidus. There is an army headed over here to try to prevent this, but the Swarmhost just now come out. Oh, he actually didn't have this timed right. Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, he was not in sync here. You actually need to have the Nidus like finish at the same time that they can pop out and come in here with another wave from Locust.
Okay, so many Phoenixes across the map right now.
Does he just go for the Nexus?
Yeah, I think he should. The thing is, you can almost go for anything. This many Locusts is going to kill whatever it wants.
Okay, the Nexus goes down. It's now 2 base here. But we have a counter push coming here from Zest.
Can this counter push do anything?
I don't
it looks
think
like
so.
such a weak army. It's like 4 DTs and 4 Stalkers and 4 Zealots.
It is odd seeing him just use DTs like as fighting units,
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe he figured it out.
Okay, here comes that push now. Now there should be another wave of Swarm Hosts here to help defend. Not sure.
Oh, he's got to back up from those Locusts.
He does not want to have anything to do with these Locusts here.
You know what? With the Phoenixes here, like, yeah, obviously you can shoot down these Locusts, but the actual standing army of RagnaroK is quite weak. Just like the actual standing army of Zest.
it is quite weak, but
They're a match made in heaven.
But I actually think he can still hold this. There's just no Nexus that's been remade.
Yeah.
He invested too much in trying to warp in to reinforce that attack, and okay, here we go. He's going to make it now.
This is a very interesting game. Now there are Corruptors out. I believe the Phoenixes can actually fight them if they target, because he has +1. But do you want to actually trade these out? They're still valuable in other ways as well. Ooh, I like that he's drawing the Corruptors away a little bit while getting ready with the Prism to do something. We'll see what he can get done, though.
Okay, now is where I think RagnaroK can easily get a closer. Once the Protoss lets up, you then go get the Swarm House to go back to what they're doing. And hitting that Nexus there is exactly what you need to do. Oh my god. With the Corruptors just completely killing that Warp Prism. We have the attack coming in here. I think the Archons are actually doing some decent damage killing workers in the main.
And there's not that many Locusts. He's on the cooldown still,
I say that, but there's no drone count. Death count's going up here, so the Archons are doing something else over there.
And it looks like, I think he just has enough that he should be able to hold on against this attack. Especially with those Locusts coming out. I think that's it. Wow, look at that.
It looks like RagnaroK's going to be our first player to survive Group D.
Kind of smashing, too. Like, he lost that first warm-up game against Classic.
Yeah.
But 4-0, basically, right?
Beautifully done. RagnaroK is going on to the round of 8, and he could not look happier. We are getting more of these guys, like rising stars here.
So that means he's against Maru, I believe. If I'm not mistaken,
I think so.
Right? Yeah.
Andy's nodding.
Yeah.
He says, and I'll go with Andy on that. Yes, he plays against Maru. Zest, he's not eliminated, of course. He'll be waiting in the final match of the day.